Here we are with another episode of CarCraft Video, and we are back on our 65 Coronet. And as you guys can see, there's a lot of work that's happened off camera. This is looking really good.
Well, this was my take on the Mopar color. There are like 7 different opinions on what color this should be, but I think it's gonna really pop in this paint. Our buddy Chuco hooked us up with what's basically an F8 paint with all of the metallic taken out of it, and he put gold pearl in there. So when you see it in the sun, he nailed it.
The tire looks great. I love the undercoating too on the chassis and in the fender wells, and I guess it's gonna make the engine really pop in the engine compartment.
Oh,
you got
yeah.
the black suspension and all that stuff around
The
it.
diamond.
This build is sponsored by Amazon. The car is gonna be on display. The Amazon garage at Roadkill Nights coming up in a pretty short amount of time, isn't it, Corey?
I don't want to think about that.
So one thing I did want to mention too, that you guys had to tackle was that cowl panel that was all rusted out. So do you want to describe the process? There's another car sitting out there, isn't there?
We had to buy another car to get a cowl panel.
Well, it looks really good. The car looks awesome, and then you said you used the deck lid too, and then it was the tail
Yeah,
panel?
we've got the car for relatively inexpensive, but we probably saved $4,000 or $5,000 in little parts like the Frat Zog emblems that come on the front of the fenders. We used one of the fenders for the front. We used so many parts.
This time around, we're going to be working on putting the engine and transmission together and then getting the suspension ready to install in the car.
Yeah, the goal is to put the front suspension in, land this in. We got to do some 4-link stuff in the back to get it all prepped out. We're going to try to mount some wheels and tires, not on the car, but put the tires on the wheels. We got the boys out back. Connor and Jake are out there wet sanding, getting ready to put some final paint on the front fenders and hood. I can't wait to see this sitting in there.
Me too. It's going to be awesome.
As a painter, you really want everything to go absolutely perfectly, which is why a real downdraft or a really nice setup booth is always ideal, but it's been super challenging. We've been really fighting weather. It's been really super hot. We've been fighting dust. We've been fighting time. It's been really tricky, but we got the body painted. We're working on getting all the doors, fenders, hood, and trunk painted. And the last really big step is cutting and buffing it. You know, you don't have to be a great painter, you gotta be a good detailer to really make that thing shine.
We all knew at some point we'd have to prevent my dad from seeing this project until it was completed. And we figured he could see it up until we put body colored paint on it, right? And then it was off limits for him. So that day, oddly enough, landed on his birthday. I thought, what a better gift to give him than a large paint sample. So we took a piece of metal, you know, the full stages of the paint, and we're able to give that to him as kind of like a birthday present from us to him, kind of like a sneak peek, if you will.
I have several reactions to the color of the car. When Corey Holmes and I went over to San Marcos and had this mixed, all I saw was a 2-ounce can full of this paint mixed up. And he put it on the stir stick and brought it up and dripped it off the end of it. And I go, that's the color. And then later on, they sent me a picture of the can that they were stirring the paint, and it looks like the most god-awful color you'd ever want to put on something. It was scary. I go, oh no, have I made a mistake? Is there too much gold? Is there too much of something in there? Then when I got the color swatch that they brought me for my birthday, I go, oh, that's gonna look really nice. So I'm at ease with the color now.
Doing it for Roadkill Nights, it really lights a fire under our butts. We only just found out a couple days ago, Jake and I, that the car is gonna be front and center in the Amazon booth, surrounded by all the sponsors and all the parts that we're using in the build, which is gonna be really cool. It's a lot of pressure, but it's a good way for me to really, you know, get super OCD and really do things to the best of my ability.
They're really under the gun for pressure to trying to get so many things done. So I've collected all the interior door panels, and we're doing the cleaning on that and repairing if some of it needs to be repaired. The armrests were cracked and not in real good condition, so I was able to find a couple of those on Amazon to replace the ones that are busted. We'll reassemble that. That's what I'm doing, so. I'm getting my wife involved too. She's helping me on it.
All right, now we have ordered almost everything from Amazon for this, but when you're dealing with the Chrysler B-body and you're looking for some fancy parts, every once in a while you gotta outsource, hence the buying the extra car and we got a front suspension, but we need something for the car to roll on. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start getting this front K-member and everything that we loosely assembled on the bench up underneath the car so we can get that gem of an engine into the engine compartment. Boy, that looks good. So what we're gonna do now is we're putting in this rear suspension, but this kit is kind of for a myriad of years, A body and B body. For 65, there's no specific instructions. The mount that we're lining up to is a little wider in spread. So what we're doing is we came to our forward spring pocket, we put a plumb bob string through the hole and we're hanging our plumb bob down here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mark where this is on the ground right here. Then we're gonna do the same on the other side. Then we're gonna snap a chalk line so that we have a reference angle for what's straight in the car. Then we'll do the same thing by dropping the plumb bob over the top of our shock and upper control arm mount, and we'll drop that down. And we wanna make sure that they're parallel. We're gonna do a whole bunch of measuring, mathing, and sciencing, and we're gonna figure out how to mount this thing so then we can clean up these frame rails and weld in that upper control arm mount. And then from there, we're gonna start putting the axle inside of the wheel well here. We'll put it on jack stands, we'll bring the car down. When we do that, we wanna make sure that our axle center line is located in the wheel well where we prefer it.
Coming towards us?
Hold on. Hold on. There you go. You're clear. Skateboard. Got on Amazon. I found a tire machine. I was skeptical on the quality of the tire machine. And this has got to be the nicest tire machine I've ever used. And I'm super excited. It's got all the attachments for doing your low profile tires on your large wheels. We chose this US mag wheel here. It's a 17x8 front and rear. We're gonna run a 245/45/17 in the front and a 275/40/17 in the back. I chose this wheel because it's got a straight spoke with no bow. Now that would usually be in a 14 or 15-inch mag style wheel that you would have seen on a car like this at the drag strip in the 60s. To me, this is the correct style wheel. We're running a 17 because we're running a Corvette brake package from Power Stop in the front. So we need to be able to clear those rotors and the calipers. So this should do the job. It's got a large cut in the wheel, if you can see it, to clear the caliper. It should be a beautiful wheel, and I think this gray on the green is gonna look great.
That's gonna be a looker, for sure. Especially with all the trim all polished up and on here. I definitely can't wait to see it.
Right now, what we've got is the pan is touching the rack and pinion, the steering. But if we can change the pan in the car because it's so wide open with this QA1K member. There are some shims in there. We can chuck them up in the lathe and cut them a little smaller. It's just a very tight fit. But I'd rather take the rack out, see where we end up in relation to the firewall, height, depth, everything that we're looking at here. I think it looks absolutely amazing.
Only thing that can make it better is 2 carburetors and 2 air cleaners.
Well, we got those, luckily.
This is going to be the bracket I'm going to hang our fuse panel from. Anytime I can prevent from putting hardware through the firewall, I like to do so.
We use a lot of split loom, which Dorman sells. This is an 86604. This is the 1/2 inch. We love this split loom. We use it for almost anything we can, as long as we're not going to shrink wrap the entire harness. It depends on what we're doing, but this helps with abrasion in the harness. We'll start putting our loom on here, and then we'll push it up here, and we'll start splitting it out. We're gonna go ahead and put our rotor on. We're running a power stop brake setup. So it has good performance, and it's a street kind of version of it, which is good for Lynn because he's gonna be driving around town.
We're gonna see if our new wheel and tire combo fits our power stop brake package.
That's contact.
That's contact, all right. Well, we got a solution for that. All right, let's put one in there, see what happens.
Much better.
Oh, that just barely clears. It's so beautiful.
Oh, that's sweet.
We've got a lot of work done the last 2 days on our 65 Dodge Coronet. And Corey, what do you think? I think it looks awesome.
I think it's really coming together. You know, Connor spent a lot of time with Jake and Noah out there really working the body, getting some color on it. I think the brakes look great. I think that the K-member and the motor look absolutely amazing. The orange on black and that green engine bay really pops.
It does.
You know, we have a long way to go though.
Yes.
We gotta wire it. We gotta put all the trim on it. We gotta put all the seals and windows and interior and on and so forth.
So you can check out our car at the Amazon garage at Roadkill Nights, August 12th in Detroit. And I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it done.
I know.
I can't wait to see a full night's sleep.
I'm sure you and your crew have been killing it.
Yeah, they really have.
Well, I think we're on track.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Look at the orange beaming off of the paint right there.
Oh yeah, no, it pops.
Yeah. And he's colorblind.
Shades of gray like you can't imagine.
Oh man. It's good though.
Yeah, it is.